My name is Joel Z. Williams, and I'm going to talk about this problem that I see with car insurance. I can't think of any other industry where the government forces you to take out your money and go spend it at some industry. Can you imagine if McDonald's, for example, the government came out and said every month you must eat at McDonald's and spend at least $20 a month at McDonald's? And that's essentially what they're doing with car insurance when they tell you you cannot operate a motor vehicle in your state without having proper liability insurance. At the minimum liability insurance, hopefully you would have full coverage. That's what the government is hoping that you would do. My solution to this problem is that car insurance companies like Geico, we're inundated with that. When we turn on a television set, you see Flo and her bundle it together. Get your motorcycle and your boat and all this stuff. Get it together. I have a solution to that. And my solution is that everybody at the pump pay 10 cents more per gallon of gasoline and you're covered. As long as you keep some kind of record that you purchased gas in the last year, if you can show receipts, bank, ATM card, debit card, whatever, if you have purchased gas for a year paying 10 cents extra per gallon, which is the only way they'll sell it, that extra 10 cents per gallon goes into a pool in the state. And instead of, when you have an accident, they call out 2 people. The police officer always shows up. Sometimes medical professionals show up to help extricate the people from the car and do medical service. But in regular fender benders, it's the police shows up first, and then the insurance adjuster show up. And what I'm saying is we already have a central traffic ticket for every place, headquarters for every state, and that is the Highway Patrol. Why not just do away with Geico and Progressive and the General, all these car insurance companies, and just let officers that are already at the scene be licensed as adjusters, so they can see an accident, they can measure the skid marks, and they can look at the damage, take photos of it, send it back to the central place in the Highway Patrol office, and the Highway Patrol will send you a check and say you had an accident on such and such a day. Here are your medical records that we found at this hospital, and this is what we think you should get. Boom. And you get paid. It's over. Everybody that's on the street driving would literally be insured. This whole concept of why the state governments banded together and said we're going to force people to have car insurance was because of the uninsured motorist. Was because people were driving around uninsured. They simply could not afford it. This way, my method ensures that everyone that is on the roadway and is operating their vehicle is by default insured, because they had to have purchased gas in order to power that vehicle. Everybody that's on the waterways in a boat, a recreational RV, ski-doo or bass boat or whatever, would also be insured because they purchased their gas and pay the 10 cents extra. It's the only way you could buy gasoline. It comes with a built-in insurance policy. That's my theory. I only have a few minutes left, so let me wrap it up. I need a whole bunch of signatures, and I need probably about probably closer to 15,000 signatures so I can get this proposition on the ballot. I think it's a worthy cause. Poor people are unfairly taxed. If you're wealthy and you can put money into a special account in a bank somewhere, and it's earmarked that if you have an accident, they can withdraw that money from that bank account. You don't have to pay car insurance in many states in America. Think about that. If you're a wealthy person and you can sock away, I don't know what the bond is, but I think it's about $30,000, $40,000, and you could sock that away in some bank account, and you have a certified public accountant, a CPA, that attests to the fact that, yes, Mr. So-and-so has this money earmarked in a bank in the event that he has an accident, you don't have to pay car insurance at all. So if you're wealthy, you can literally circumvent the law. You can literally not pay car insurance. As long as you got money in the bank that could go possibly to an accident, look at all that money you're saving. The average Joe six-pack who is working 40 hours a week, making only $10 an hour, he's paying probably $60, $70 a month for car insurance. And that's liability insurance. That's not full coverage. That's just saying if he gets in an accident, he doesn't owe money. Not that they're going to come out and fix his car, and it is a racket. And what I'm saying is we can do away with all this. If everybody would just sign this petition, I'm going to put it on this website. And I need to come up with a cool name. Somebody that can help me with this. But we'll get a cool name together. I think I'll call it No Insurance or Covered at the Pump or something. The slogan should embody this ideal that you paid your due. What about car insurance companies that collect your money, your fees, your monthly dues for 40 years? You ain't never had an accident. You just keep throwing money into this bottomless pit. At some point, car insurance companies should have the decency to say, listen, you have had our insurance policy for 10 years. You've never had an accident. Here's some of your money back. You don't have to pay us anymore. We're good. We're good. Please don't have an accident. We don't want you to have an accident, but we don't want you have paid your dues. We're good at this point. Car insurance companies will never say that. They're like this never-ending shark that just can't. You know how a shark has to keep moving or else it dies, has to keep the water moving over its gills. That's how car insurance companies are. And what I'm saying is we can do away with car insurance company. Nobody has to have a meeting with on the phone trying to get through to an agent. Man, you are covered. You buy your gasoline and you're driving down the street, you have a fender bender, somebody hits you, whatever. The cop comes out, he assesses one of you guys a ticket, and a month later a check rolls in and photos of how your car struck a decision or some kind of order. Some kind of, I'm Officer so-and-so, and I was at 18th in Spagnolia, and I saw a blue Lincoln come down the street and it hit a Dodge Volt, and the driver of the Dodge Volt suffered some injury, and it looked like the guy that was driving the back car and the car in the rear was drunk, and I subsequently arrested him for DUI, and this guy in the Dodge Volt, he needs to be recompensated. He needs some recompense for the damages that he suffered, and take him to the hospital and all those medical bills. All that shit's covered. And there'll be some kind of grand panel that will look at it all and decipher how much it is every year. They'll do an industry check. How much does a broken leg cost to heal, and how much time does it take a surgeon and then their assistants, and all this stuff will be metrically figured out. And my thing is, if people know that accidents are covered, but you can't get a license back after you've been found responsible for an accident. You can't get your license back until you go to certain classes and whatnot. Instead of assessing fines to people, I think we should incentivize it. We should say, we're going to take some money out of that pool, that 10%, if you can finish this course. And it'll be a grueling course. It'll be like, they'll have to spend 3 hours every other day at a place, and they'll have to practice what to do in the rain and, whatever. But they get out of a defensive driving course or something like that. And that way, the people who need the help, the people who are poor drivers, will automatically start attributing themselves to these classes. And these classes will be run by the people who lost their business in the car insurance industry. So people say, well, we don't want to do away with Geico and Progressive and all these other car insurance companies. But in reality, if they just retool themselves and become trainers and educators and helpers instead of vampires, You see what I'm saying? We could change this whole industry. Car insurance industries could move towards training, DUI school, marriage school, defensive driving schools, which what I would envision, and all these things that could make up for the lost revenue that they would have from drivers that need to pay insurance every month. Okay, I'm out. I'm Joel Z. Williams. If you have questions or you disagree with my statement, please put your comment in a video and post it to this side.